And I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions during the Q&A about that, right? Because the valuation is such a fascinating topic. But before I, let other people have the questions, my last question for you is, there's been so much talk about what's happening between China and US, and that is sort of obviously spilling over into the tech scene and what's happening with TikTok. What's your view on how the China-US tensions will impact tech companies both ways, both in the US
Yeah.
and in China?
Yeah, I think it's definitely now. Obviously, there's a lot of politics at play, and the Trump administration probably is, obviously, is kind of pushing a lot of things. But I do think this concern will persist, even if there's a change in the presidency in the U.S. Um, I think there's a growing just concern in the U.S. and Europe and maybe other countries about, or India too, of just the sort of the Chinese model of having the companies really really close to government, and at least a perception is there that there's just concern, and so I think it's going to continue, and it kind of clips the global ambitions of Chinese companies, frank, and it's gonna hurt them in that sense. Luckily, China is a huge market for them, so they can still do a lot in China. China's a mega market, so they can still become really big there, and Southeast Asia is still, I think, very much open, and they've been very early in Southeast Asia, and I think they're going to dominate in Southeast Asia. So they still have Southeast Asia, and they probably have other parts of the world, Middle East and Africa and South America. But yeah, it does clip their global ambitions. I mean, ByteDance was on track to be like the first like really successful global Chinese tech company, and this issue basically clipped it. So it's definitely it's going to reduce their total potential for now, but they have so much they can do in the next 10 years. They'll be fine.
Great. Well, hopefully some of that spills out to Singapore, right? We can see
Oh, I think that
that.
lots coming to Singapore. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, before we go on to the Q&A session, we have a number of questions from the audience. I think we're running two poll questions before we start the Q&A. So give everyone a little bit of a break, but also please answer the poll questions that's coming up.